how much of your growth as a Krumper can happen, you think, as an individual, right? Solo, parang journey. Like parang you don't have like access to your fam, right? You have a fam. It's not saying that you didn't have one. You have a fam, pero you're not able to go and train with them. So how much of that journey do you think you're going to be able to grow as a solo? And then how much of it is like, you know what, for the other stuff that you really want to improve on and this, and this, you're going to need to be around people for you to find and see that. I know it's a very like kind of out there kind of question, but maybe just see what you can pull from that.
Sige. If you know Krump, pero wala kang access sa community and mag-isa mo lang na naglalab and nag-train, I think, lilinis kang gumalaw, kaya mong luminis, kaya mong maging mas malaki yung galaw mo, siguro mas, pero I don't think there's a lot of growth in Krump if you're alone. Kasi Krump is community. Hindi lang siya basta, it's not made by community, it's not made for community. Krump is community. So if you're not in a community, you're just dancing. You're not Krumping. So I think once you're in Krump, other people is gonna be a major part in your life. It not only with the sharing of knowledge, not only with the fams and stuff like that, or with the name that you're gonna get, or the things that you're gonna learn. It's really about how you live the culture of Krump, and you're only gonna live it if you're with other people in the community, in the same community. And I think all the learning and all the improvement that you need is there. And when you're alone, you can do very, very little. When you're alone, I think,
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. So we're really seeing that Krump really just the community is a big part of it, right? For your growth. It's gonna be, like you said, it's gonna be difficult, and so that brings us to sort of the situation that we're in now, which is like the pandemic, the lockdown, quarantine, things like that. How is sort of the Krump scene here in the Philippines, you think, adjusting to it? I know, for example, there you guys are able to do like your sessions, obviously with in lesser numbers than before, for sure. I don't know, are you guys doing Zoom? Are you guys hyping each other through Zoom, right? Is it like, do you take turns doing that? Have you tried it? Does it work? I mean, so tell me a little bit about that. How things are adapting for you guys.
Okay. In terms of the, let me just share something I observed with Krumpers ngayon sa Pilipinas. Nakakabaliw. Nakakabaliw lalo para sa mga Krumper, which is very community-based. Very community yung life namin. Kailangan namin makipag-session sa ibang tao. And pag mag-isa lang namin nagsisession, ayaw namin sumayaw, hindi namin na-feel, hindi kami makapag-release. So all the release and yung nasanay namin na mode of expression is nawala. Talagang nanggigigil kami, gusto na namin mag-session. So ngayon, merong mga ibang people na I think na-observe ko yun kasi may mga nag-organize ng events. So I think talagang na-adjit na sila. Guys, kailangan na natin magkita-kita. And then I think na-attract doon yung many people naman aside from Krumpers. Kaya we try ngayon to, session in smaller numbers. Sa Zoom naman, tinatry ko sa class ko na okay guys, mag-round si ganito. Hype nyo siya. Hype nyo siya. On nyo yung mic nyo. Pwede nyo siyang i-hype. Ganyan. Okay naman. Kaso ako, hindi ko marinig. Pero sige, basta, syempre nag-aagaw po kasi yung music sa voice. Sige na lang, go na lang. Pagka-session yung goal namin, sige, sumession ka lang, di importante yung music, basta gumalaw ka lang. Ganyan, okay lang yun. But then when I have to look at something, tas kailangan sabay siya sa music, malaking part talaga, malaking drag kapag walang hype. Kasi nape-pressure yung students pag sa class setting. Pressure yung students kasi parang walang nagre-react. Parang mag-isa lang nilang sumasayaw, ganun.
Yeah.
So I make it a point na naka-on pala yung mic ko and ako yung nag-hype dun sa na paisa-isa. Ooh, hey, that's good, ganyan. So very, very important po siya para sa amin.
And that's good to hear, right? Because you guys are adjusting to it, and obviously you're going to have the situations where you can, set up a Zoom call and get engagement that way. And then you're going to have, I think now you're going to have more so also time to lab, right? On your own. Let's talk about this a little bit. We don't have to dive in so much, but when you're labbing, is lab, when we consider that, is that a solo effort, or is it still parang when you're labbing, it's like with other homies then?
It's usually a solo thing na ginagawa mo mag-isa kasi you're just trying to experiment on moves. But it's so much better if you lab with other people, and when you have a big homie or a family or a friend to critic on what you're doing, kasi especially when you're at home, wala kang namang mirror, and pag record naman ng record, mabagal yung progress mo. So when you have someone to bounce off your ideas with, I think that's a better lab. For me, I can lab alone, yes, and then work on specific things lang na skills na naglalak. But then, konti lang yung time na ibibigay ko for that. So I do more lab with Zoom labs sa big homie, ganyan, sa fam. So we do that also every month or sometimes every week, depende.
Nice. And so let's say you're labbing and you're doing a Zoom lab. Are you going into is it technical in a sense, like you're going into discussion points? Like, hey, I like the focus point that you did there, or parang I feel like your this quote unquote concept could have been better. Do you guys talk? Are there sort of reactions and reviews to that, or is it just yo, dope round? Parang ganun.
Oo, kuya, sa lab, pagka fam lab, sa fam namin kay Kuya Pat, I think it also comes a lot with how Kuya Pat mentors. And very meticulous, at saka alam niya exactly what's going wrong, not just with the dance, but with your body, kung saan pa ba pwede maano. So in the lab, we do that a lot sa Krump techniques. For example, meron kaming, for a month, we are going to work on, let's say, for example, our arm placements. So yun lang yung work on namin, and then yun specific and technical po yung nagiging critic with each other. Pwede mo pang itaas, pwede mo pang lakihan. Not just general.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the specific advice, and that's great because like you said, it's important. It's one thing talaga when you're working on yourself, and then it's another thing when you have somebody else to look at it from an unbiased perspective, who's really just looking for you to improve, and there are going to be things kasi that you don't see that they can see.
Exactly.
And I think in any sort of, pursuit or discipline, that's always going to be important, but more so pa in Krump, in the sense that your community, your family is really a huge part of your growth there. So that's cool. Really cool stuff.